Our next step is to complete our calculations for our contingency cost, our hard cost, our overhead, and then the total cost of the entire project for each one of these separate projects, and then we'll get a total cost for each one of the aspects of the project as well. So first thing to do is we'll go into this cell here, F3, and to write a formula, we write an equal sign. And what we're going to do is we're going to add cells C plus D plus E. We hit enter, all right? But, so we've added these cells up, but what we really want here is to add up cells C, D, and E, and then multiply that by 11%. So whenever we write the multiply sign, we use the asterisk. So we have to go back here, and we want to essentially sum these three cells, and then want to divide that and multiply that by 11%. Now, if you remember your basic mathematics, we have the associative rule, so we need to put a parentheses around those three, so Excel will sum that first, and then we can multiply times 11 and put the percent key in, so we will know that we're on percent, and then there is our value. Now we need to put that same calculation in each one of these cells. Now we could go and write that same formula for each cell, but that of course takes some time, and if you're typing you can always make mistakes. So Excel is very good at filling things in for you. So if you select this cell, and you can see there's a little square there, you hover over that so you get this black cross, and then you just drag down and it will fill in the formulas for you. So here we say we're doing C plus 3 plus D3 plus E3. Now as you move it down, it says, oh, you want to do C4 plus D4 plus E4, and it goes that through the entire rows where you've filled those formulas in. So now the next thing we want to do is sum up our entire hard costs, which are all four of these columns. So once again, we put our equal sign in, but this time we're going to try it a little bit differently, because adding up four columns together, we have to do a C4 plus D4 plus C4. Gets to be a little bit of extra work. So what we're going to do is type in the word sum, which is a function. So Excel will add all the numbers in the range of the cells. So we write our function, then we open parentheses, and all we need to do is click and drag and select these cells and close our parentheses. So now it is going to add the range, all these cells that are together. Hit enter, and there is our calculation for sum of these four columns. And once again, all we have to do is drag it down here, and we have our sum for all those columns. The next thing is what we're doing overhead, which is we're taking column G, which is our hard costs, and our perms and inspections, bonds, taxes, all things that we have to pay for. And then our overhead is essentially our profit that we can make above and beyond our costs. So what we're going to do here now is it's another percentage calculation. So we open our parentheses, and since it's only 2, we can either go, it's just as easy to go this plus this. Now we go back, put our parentheses in, parentheses there, and this time it's 12. Now it's important to get parentheses in the right place, because if we didn't have the parentheses, it would go through and it would actually multiply. It would multiply H3 times 12 before it got to the G3, so we would not get the right answer. So we just have to put in our our multiply, and there is our overhead. And we can fill down again very simply. And now our total is G plus H plus I. So we can do either way. We can go sum, select G, H, and I, close parentheses. There we have it. You can pull that down. And there's our cost. Now, the other thing we want to do is add up the column so we know how much each one of these activities that we have within the project cost. So here we can go equal, and once again we can do this, open our parentheses, equal sum, in parentheses, go like that, and there's our total. Now, we can also use what's called the AutoSum function. If you put your cursor in the cell, you go up here where it says AutoSum, and you click on this summation key, and what it does is it automatically looks to the top, above or to the left, but in this case it knows it's at the bottom of the column. So it just writes the formula for you, D3 times D8. So there's our sum. And then what we can do here, drag it over, and there are our numbers. And now we can look and see in each one of these column cells where there's a formula, you can actually go in, and even though it's displaying the answers, you can see that there's the formulas behind them. So if you want to see where your formulas are, you can go to Formulas and say View Formulas, Show Formulas. And so now we see it takes all the formatting out, but you can see if you want to review your formats, you can see where your formulas are. And then if you turn that off, it goes back to normal. And those are our calculations.